Hello, beautiful Aquarius. Welcome to your new moon reading for June 20th. All right, so if you're new to my channel, my name is Melissa and I do zodiac readings based on the new moon energy and the full moon energy. So we're going to be looking at the new moon for June 20th, which is the new moon in Cancer, and a lot of other things going on astrologically. I'm not an astrology expert by any means, but I do know that there are a lot of weird energies going out there right now. We have a bunch of planets in retrograde. We have a solar eclipse, the solstice, all of that happening like this weekend. And then, I mean, not the retrogrades necessarily. Those kind of last for longer, but you know what I mean. So our new moon is about the beginning of the cycle. And but it's also the end of the last cycle. So anything that you need to release from the last cycle may come up. We're going to do 9 cards. We're going to do 3 cards for just kind of the overall energy of what's going on around you. And then we have 3 cards for intentions for the new moon, and then 3 cards of advice. Okay, so let's get started. All right. What does Aquarius need to know about this new moon energy? Okay. We have Lovers, Knight of Pentacles, and the 9 of Wands. All right, so let me show you the cards. We have the Lovers card. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles. All right, and the 9 of Wands. Okay, so I feel like right now there's like a partnership. Oh, look at. I feel like there's a bromance here. They're like eyeballing each other. Do you see that? Yeah, I feel like there's a partnership brewing, or there was a partnership that has brewed. Like this, not super time specific for these cards, but it could be something that has recently happened or something that is kind of going on right now that's about to happen. But you should possibly know what that is if it applies. So, but I feel like this is kind of like a divinely guided partnership. But it's been a slow moving kind of situation, right? So the Knight of Pentacles is kind of a slow mover. It's kind of earth energy. Earth is, you know, the planet rotates slowly. Like it just feels like there's a progression that has to happen here. And we have the 9 of Wands, which is kind of like that final stretch where, you know, you kind of like, before you put that last piece of the puzzle, you look at the puzzle and you see it almost there, complete, and you're just like ready to put that final piece in there. I feel like that's kind of like the energy here. Is there's been something kind of brewing. It's definitely something that it's a slow cooker kind of situation. Now, it could definitely be a lover's scenario. It could be a romantic partnership. It could be like initially got that bromance. It could just be like you connected with someone where you're just like, damn, I feel like we've been friends forever and we just met, like that kind of situation where you just feel that connection. But it's definitely been something that's brewing or will be brewing. Okay, let's get some cards for intention. What intentions could we be looking at for Aquarius, please? We have the 8 of Swords, the Magician. The Magician's coming out a lot. And the Ace of Pentacles, which is also coming out a lot. Okay, so I'm immediately drawn to all of the Pentacles. Okay, all of the Pentacles, I mean, because we had the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, but I'm also really drawn to the Pentacle here on the Magician's cloak. Okay, so the Magician's energy, since I have that card up, the Magician's energy is about gathering your supplies, gathering all of your resources, knowing what resources are available to you. But I really am getting this, like, ooh, the way he's looking at the 8 of Swords. Okay, so the 8 of Swords, okay, the 8 of Swords is kind of being closed off, not wanting to communicate, not wanting to see what's really going on. Really, and a lot of readers like myself see this as you kind of doing it to yourself, not on purpose, not in a malicious kind of way, but in a like out of protection, okay, or out of fear. Now, either could be the case, but I feel like oh, this is good stuff, man. This is good. Okay, So I'm going to show you how I'm seeing it and pointing all this stuff out. Like, not all the readers do this, but I just like, I find it so fascinating that I have to share with you. Okay, so to see the way the magician is facing this Eight of Swords energy, which I believe might be you. So we have this kind of like bromance brewing situation going on here. But I feel like you're a little bit guarded, and that could be why it's taking so long. Like, you feel this connection, but it scares you. Okay, that's what I'm kind of getting here. Like you're afraid of something, and I just feel this magician is trying to like coax you out of it and bring you into this new opportunity. I feel like you are needing some magic to relieve you from your bindings. Okay, you're binding yourself out of fear. Interesting. These two cards, and I don't remember what sign it was, these two cards came out next to each other in the advice section for another reading, and I was drawn to the circles, which represent cycles, which those circles are coming up a lot too. I think Scorpio might have been one that had circles in the advice section, where it was just kind of like, if you need to close this cycle, this is about cycles. For this though, I don't feel like this is the ending of the cycle. I feel like this is the beginning of the cycle, or going round and round and round chasing your damn tail. Okay, so I feel like this isn't the first time you felt this a connection for someone and were afraid to pursue it. I'm still not getting 100% that it's a romantic situation, but you're feeling drawn to something that you are connecting with, but out of fear. Like, I mean, it could be tarot. Like, you know, you're kind of interested and you're feeling this draw to it, but you're kind of scared that other people might not like it, or other people will think that you're evil, or that you're a devil worshiper, or whatever, because people still say that stuff. So I'm not going to say that that's not true. You can do whatever you want. It's going to be great, because that does happen, but it's how you deal with the fear. That's where this Magician card comes in. Okay, I feel like the Magician is trying to show you that, you know, it's okay to have the fear. It needs to be acknowledged. Okay, don't continue chasing your tail, running in circles, chasing your own tail, because you're afraid that if you move too fast, because like I said, this was a slow brewing kind of situation. If you move too fast, that you're gonna like trip over your tail or something. Like, there's that fear there, and I feel like the Magician is trying to kind of like pull you out of that fear zone. That way you can kind of see this opportunity on the other side. Okay, so I feel like as far as intentions for these cards, I feel like the intention really is to try and kind of work on those fears. If there are fears that are holding you back from some kind of partnership, whether it is romantic, career, just a friendship, whatever it is, something that's holding you back, it's really saying that now is a good time to put the intention to face that fear, acknowledge that fear, and kind of like, you know, you doing some shadow work, which is something that I am kind of new to. And I'm gonna be honest, like, I didn't know what that meant, and I thought it was something bad, and I thought it was like, you know, doing dark magic or something, and it's really not. It's really, really not. There's actually therapists do it. They just call it something else, and I can't remember what it is, but it's like, it's looking at the things that you hold back from yourself, things that you kind of like compartmentalize, and that becomes your shadow self, right? Your shadow self is all of the things that you told yourself that you couldn't do. You know, it could go back as early as childhood, you know, like you did something that you thought was okay but were reprimanded for, so like then that like kind of shocked you into not ever doing that again, and like, oh my god, that's so bad, I can't do that. And you know, like, it really actually was normal, and that one person that kind of reprimanded you for it didn't know that they were kind of traumatizing you. It's kind of like pulling out those traumas and seeing what that fear is, and acknowledging that you have it, first step, and working on the why you have it. You know, like, you know, okay, so why do I do this? Where does it come from? And is it really rational for me to be afraid of this? You know, it's really kind of working through that and busting through it. And I feel like the Magician is there to kind of like show you the way. Like, this is your shadow. Like, with this deck, I don't know if they do it on purpose or not, but some of the people in the deck, like, you can't see their face, and for me, to me, that kind of says, you know, this is internal work. Okay, so for me, the Magician card in this deck, where you can't see his face, this is you. This is you, internal. Okay, this is the internal you. This is you internalizing things, pulling those resources out of yourself, so that you can, you know, pull that part of yourself out and be you and see this opportunity, because you can't see, because you're blindfolded by that fear, and you've caged yourself in as a wall of protection, you know, a very sharp wall of protection. It's like you've surrounded yourself with barbed wire or that razor wire stuff, because, you know, you really didn't want anybody to try and come in there. But I feel like there's this fear, you're kind of afraid to pursue whatever this thing that has been brewing, and this Magician card is really just saying, like, look, you need to face it. And if you do, when you do, there's great stuff on the other side. So that can be your intention. Possibly look into some affirmations for self-worth, or just more self-confidence. Somebody else, another sign, I said the same thing. So I was like, different cards, but same-ish message. And it was really about, you know, like, you working on you. Okay, so, you know, your intention can be to kind of work through some fears, you know, like, you know, put it out there that you want to identify one fear and work on it, or, you know, look at this, whatever this relationship thing is that was in the previous cards, what is scaring you about that connection. Okay, because I feel like that's what's going on here, is there's kind of like, there's this connection, and it's moving slowly, and it's kind of brewing, and you're not sure, so you're kind of trying to protect yourself. But you can definitely be putting some intentions to kind of release yourself from your own fear and worries, and you know, look on the brighter side of this, where this opportunities are lying that you can't see yet, because you're kind of trying to be scared and not really face it. So let's get some advice. I think that kind of went over it, but I'm going to get 3 more cards anyways, because I said I would. We have the 3 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, and the World card came back out. Okay, was that you? That might have been in the Capricorn reading. The World card like fell on the floor, but it was face down, so I put it back in the deck. I don't know if that was you or not. The World card is directly below this Ace of Pentacles, and we have another big circle. Okay, so it's just this circle. Okay, another rounded shape. Okay, and then we have the 3 of Pentacles. I went backwards, but I felt like the World was more important. Yeah. Again, this is another partnership here, allowing somebody in to help. Like, this is being guided by a teacher, making plans. Okay, there's plans that you can be working on once you take that blindfold off. Okay, that lead to happiness. We have the 10 of Cups, which is like one of the happiest cards in the deck, and then we have the World here too, where you have, again, gathered all of the elements. Okay, I see that big circle there, and completed a cycle. So I feel like the advice here is to allow yourself this happiness. Okay, and if you have to let somebody else in to feel this happiness, when you do that, the world is at your disposal. Okay, you have, you know, a greater sense of the big picture. Okay, because you found yourself, is what I'm hearing. So go find yourself, do some of that inner work, release some of those fears, and allow yourself to bring somebody possibly into your plans, because I think it'll make you happy. And if something makes you happy, let it come full circle for you. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video for your full moon reading, and as always, have a blessed day.